again to do another tarot of the day.
Hello, hello.
And how you feeling? You feeling ready to jump right into it, huh?
Back with our decks. No, I'm a little tired today.
I thought you were grabbing yours because you were like on it.
No, just trying to be illustrative and informative for the audience.
Bravo to you. This is the deck that I've been working with. And I've had it for a long time, so it's not a new deck to me, but it's a beautiful deck. They're both beautiful decks, but they're beautiful in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Are they different? Is that where you're checking the illustrators?
Oh, I was just looking at the cover. I was listening to a podcast earlier today about the cards. It's sort of very similar to what we're doing. It's like they go through a card an episode and discuss things. It's two people, and that they were talking. One of the points they were talking about was that, like, one of them said the reason they think they like this stuff so much is because of how interpretive it can be going from deck to deck. That, like, the general idea is the same, but the art is different, and so, like, the feeling that you get maybe is a little different, and so they were talking about sometimes using more than one deck, like we were yesterday. And I just thought, that's so weird how often you find that in the world, where, like, you come up with an idea or you have a conversation with somebody, and then the next day or an hour later you're hearing the same stuff. You're like, what? Didn't I say that?
Right. Like, did I pull this information down directly in front of me?
Just weird.
Yeah. No, I mean, they say that stuff like that happens because you've, just by, like, saying it or thinking it, you've opened that space up to receive those things.
Yeah, I guess so. Did you want to pull your card, or?
You can pull yours first. I pulled mine first yesterday.
I'll have to pull my deck out here and get connected a little bit with it first.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. I kind of have to, like, spend time and just, like, feel the cards. I think we both had shared that our cards, our decks, had patterns on the back that were made it so that you couldn't decipher which way was upright. I think a lot of decks do that, but I have to say I don't know. I could imagine that there are different styles of this that do different things that I'm not
They were
fully
talking
aware
about
of.
that a little bit in the podcast too. I think, yeah, that's as varied as tarot and the practitioners. So some people don't do that at all. Like, they don't do the upside down stuff.
Yeah.
I guess they just don't.
It doesn't have importance to them.
Right, and it's not really factored any differently. The card's a card.
Well, and I very much am not about just because it lands upside down that necessarily means either, like, a bad thing or that it has to be read that way. It's very dependent upon maybe the other cards or the particular situation. And just because it's upside down doesn't always mean that it's bad or negative. It could mean that there are just difficulties or problems or issues, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's like, oh, this is, you got the death card upside down, like you're dying tomorrow. That's very much not what it is.
Right.
You want some quiet while you get comfy with them?
No, we're okay. I'll be ready to pull in a minute. Alright. We got the Page of Wands right side up. It is pretty.
My favorite in these cards are the shading.
Would you hold this so I
Yeah.
can read?
On the clothing and the folds of it. They're just so intricate and beautiful. But here we go. Page of Wands. Look at this fit boy, too.
Page of Wands. Sparks. Artistry. Creativity. With a jaunty feather in his cap, this page symbolizes going for your dreams and your desires. He is the spark of creative power. Often he is seen as that part of your psyche that longs to chase after every desire. He learns how to act by making mistakes.
I love that. We all should strive to be a page of wands at times in our life.
No, I like the texture in these cards as well.
You think that's why they like sculpt the body forms the way they do? For that added texture? Or do you think that it's important to them
What do you mean?
that their people are like fit and sexy?
Oh yeah, no, that's an aesthetic choice.
Intentionally done.
I mean, yeah, I don't, why they made that aesthetic choice, I don't know. But yeah, I would say that's not, I think, a direct side effect of the style or technique or anything.
Well, I thought if you were saying that, just like the intricate details of this deck, that could be a component of that, and that might be the choice as to why, is what I was trying to convey. I mean, obviously, I think all decks try to make them beautiful, whether they're males or females, because it's
Oh yeah.
like art, right? And
Yeah, there's an aesthetic element to the deck and the cards.
but like that guy was ripped. I was curious. And how do you feel with your selection of that card? Is that speaking to you?
I guess so, a little bit. Not in particular today. No, I didn't have anything I was trying to pull it for. Just to see the cards and get to know them better. And I guess
Just to learn.
I've been more creative recently, but you know.
They say that if you do some work, and they, like these tarot experts, if you do certain work with these cards for some time, you could essentially select a card that represents you. And so then that card would be used in different spreads later on that you would place down first as a representation of you. And then going forward, whatever else you had to contribute.
Interesting. You'd need a duplicate of that card then, right?
When you do a spread?
Yeah.
No, it would be part of the spread. It's
Right.
just the first card you put down always.
But you know what card it is. So you're pulling that, like, so there isn't then a King of Cups or whatever in the deck. And so if...
You wouldn't need it because you possess that. Like, that would be you. I'm not saying you have to do it that way.
Interesting.
But I've
I think
seen
I
spreads
sort of understand.
that do that. I've done that a couple of times, but I don't do that regularly. Just trying to get what I need for today.
If there's anybody in the chat, feel free to jump into the conversation.
Okay. I'm I'm just getting these major cards like crazy. Mine is the World. I like this card.
It's pretty.
There's a lot of details to
We
it.
were looking at this card the other day.
I believe when I pulled cards for you,
Yeah,
this was one that I pulled for you.
I remember.
And it's an intense card. It's got a lot to it. Because it's literally the world.
Yeah, it's a big deal, right?
That's me. A big deal. Okay. Oh my gosh. Here we go. All right, so the Celtic Wheel of Life is here. The Fool has completed his journey and occupies the circle. So reaching a state of freedom in human form, the struggle of life has been momentarily halted. The 4 Celtic symbols of the elements are all around. The querent, so myself, would be bound with wisdom of a visionary nature. And then you've got this tapestry of life throughout the card. And it's supposed to be a reflection of the Celts' remarkable visionary abilities in art. Their conversion to Christianity was well timed. That's an interesting thing. The Fool is holding the symbols of earthly power, and he's wearing a purple robe of spiritual adepthood. And so we've got the bearded half-man, the fiery lion, the gentle calf, and the bird-like reptile that are all representing the different elements and the mystical phases of development, the metamorphosis of humans. This is the one that we listened to, this song. There was a song that they reference here, the Song of Amergin, that apparently is like a song equivalent to the Book of Genesis, so to speak. So it's got like a poetic song to it. And the planet Saturn is associated with this card, symbolizing that man is bound to the Celtic Wheel of Life. Your free will was devised to fulfill your obligations. Let's see. So there's this whole idea of confrontation with the devil to purge the soul and make it stronger, not to destroy it. So that is considered a process of becoming, like, reaching your full potential. So this card deals with the ability to transcend the situation at hand. You finally reached a point of reward, a complete new lifestyle, not just a cycle. This whole significance of this card is a very high and deep philosophical level, and it really shows a new environment, travel, expanding horizons that are a reality and not just a dream. Restrictions are removed, and the querent recognizes their own strength of purpose. So it is a catalyst to expansion, but within the defined limits of the querent.
That's cool.
Yes. It's very cool. I like that card. It's like very powerful.
It's got some nice color.
These things remind me of like stained glass windows on churches.
Yes. No, I agree. Some of the Celtic patterns and designs are very similar.
Yeah, it like gives me that vibe. But it's cool. Like, I know we talked recently about how, like, I liked doing in Catholic school the Stations of the Cross and, like, getting a story and, like, walking in quiet. And, like, I feel like tarot cards are like, a little bit similar to that in the ways that they can be designed after, like, folklore, mythology, or real, like, historical figures sometimes are kind of interwoven with that as well.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool.
And then you get this piece of information to contemplate, which is nice. And obviously I connect with this card because I've been working on some patterns to change and, like, better myself and create a new version of me, so to speak, but just like a better me, like an improved me. So, yeah. I think that's fitting.
Yeah.
What were you checking out?
I was just looking at the card. Again,
Oh, yeah.
Still looking at the world.
And you got that card, like, not too long ago.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just 2 days ago, I think. Or
Yeah.
something.
And we've both kind of been talking about how we have, like, fallen out of different habits that we never even spent time, like, thinking, like, oh, do we want to continue doing this or not? We just kind of naturally were like, no.
Right, or even consciously chose just a circumstance of...
Yeah, just different things. And we're like, no, actually, this doesn't feel good, or I don't like this anymore. So I just kind of stopped, and then, like, noticing it in the other one, like, oh, yeah, me too. Like,
Right.
Pretty interesting.
Again, if you're in the chat there, you know, send us a message.
Yeah, we're new.
Pull
We're
your
starting
card.
this off.
Might be a shorter stream today because I'm particularly tired.
I had to wake him up when I came home, and then he just embraced me in a hug and fell right back to sleep.
No,
So I set an
remember.
alarm.
I don't remember any of this.
No, usually he doesn't, because he's in that sleep state. But I did set an alarm, so I gave you some time. I was going to tell you earlier and then stopped myself so we could share it through this, that I was listening to, there is a Body Electric podcast series from TED Talk Radio Hour, I believe, and it's affiliated with NPR, and it's a 6-part series, and I was on episode 5, and it was about basically body introspection that they, I think, coins like I don't know. They gave it another word, right? Besides like being reflective.
Right.
And it's about like understanding your body's needs and abilities, and how we all have that to some degree, where like, oh, I gotta go pee. Like,
Right.
you get tuned into it, but that we have the potential to be more fully aware of it, and that there have been different studies and work being done to determine how technology and just like these devices and the way that we are accessing information all the time are blocking our ability to tune into our body.
That makes some sense.
Yeah. And it was really cool.
That is cool. I mean, you know, I've heard that, and you know, it's like a skill, like any other. Right. So your body's not going to be good at knowing when it's like actually legitimately hungry versus I'm hungry because I usually have a meal around this time, and today I'm not having a meal around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Because then most people don't fast, or you know, so it's just like so many other things.
Well, also just we have so many like restraints on us to be able to listen to our bodies and respond to them. Like sometimes we may know what our body's saying, but we don't have the means to do what we need to do, whether it's like financial or time or accessibility. And so we do end up training ourselves to ignore it because you have to
Yeah, suck it up.
Yeah, like get to work, whatever it may be, you know? And so how that has an effect. And so as they do this series, they try to give people like tips to continue about their lives in our societal structure.
Right.
And one of the tips that they were just encouraging people to do is move when it feels good. So their whole thing is that we all sit and exercise in too many segments, and basically every 20 to 30 minutes, a light walk for 5 minutes or a quick dance party is plenty to keep yourself fit and reduce, you know, your glucose levels and things. And if we just spent more time listening to our bodies, we'd be able to give ourselves exactly what it needed in those little bits of time.
Yeah, we'd be better at hearing it too when it's trying to tell us you need something serious.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
maybe on that note, we should call it a stream and go move our bodies. So
Yeah, sorry. Jay is dead and can't make it a long one. But maybe we'll add on another short one another day that we were struggling to figure out.
no, absolutely, and we can, we'll get the socials up soon. And you want to reach out and ask us to pull you a card or have a conversation sometime other than our typical stream, we can try and work that out too. So we're pretty casual. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.